Carl and Lou here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short, track by track time, as we're going to another band we've not covered to date in this. It is Every Time I Die, and the album Low Teens. Now, it should be said, I've never listened to a full Every Time I Die album.
I thought you'd be able to pick out a track.
Oh, I'd struggle to name one.
Yeah, I've never heard, I never knew anything about them. First I kind of started thinking more about them was when we know that the guitarist is a wrestler as well.
Yeah, isn't he bass?
Oh, bass.
I think he's bass player. He's bass player. I think he's the bass player. Yeah, we should note that our kind of interest in Every Time I Die. I'd heard tracks here and there. I know their style of music, but I wouldn't have been able to pick it out. But the interest came when we watched AEW, and it was like, oh, that dude's in there Every Time I Die. Okay, it's the Butcher, obviously, of the Butcher and the Blade, and we end up, we really like them. And it's kind of like eventually we were like, oh, we'll have to do a track by track of this band, kind of get to know them better. And you chose this one, random one, because it's their 8th studio album. They've had a hell of a career, And metalcore, if you don't know, described as metalcore, that's a bit more nuanced than that. I get it. I get why metalcore, like you would lump them in that. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's the band's only release to feature drummer Daniel Davison. So that was a fact I read and put it in. Factoid. It is a long one. I think it's a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought this was a great album.
I really enjoyed it.
Like there are things in this that I thought were brilliant, and one of the things I'm going to praise straight away, that fucking vocalist.
Yeah, man.
He is phenomenal.
I thought it was 2 people at once.
The shifts, yeah?
Yeah, I was kind of think, is it 2 vocalists?
But instrumentally as well, I think it's worth pointing out that there was some stonkingly good riffs. You really get strong bass coming through. Drums, it's a great combination. There were songs that I think are simply brilliant. I'm like put it this way, I'm like, oh, I've got to push this to Dan. Because Dan obviously is a big metalcore fan. And he's going to like a lot of this shit, do you know what I mean? And it seems like these are kind of one of the elder... With 8 albums in, you got to think, an elder statesman of the metalcore scene, So obviously probably influenced quite a lot of modern metalcore bands. I think that's fascinating. Yeah. Okay then, we kick off with Fear and Trembling, which features Tim, singer of Dead Guy. I thought it was interesting to kick off your album with a guest. That's an unusual way to start. Okay, we're doing a guest in this one. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. The off-kilter guitars and bass distortion gets my attention. Then it properly kicks in with the vocals and drums and we get a hefty metalcore hit. It gets really good though when the pace increases.
So I really like the creaky guitar intro. And the vocals are so angry, straight in.
Yeah.
And I like them. I like it like that. And it chugs away nicely with great energy. So that's what you want to do. This is what we are. Straight in. Yeah.
Did you really notice... I mean, no, we wouldn't have. I was about to say, did you really notice the guest infusion? But truth be told... I had no sort of without having this is how Every Time I Die sound. How would I notice a guest at this early stage? Later I'd fucking notice another guest a mile away in that song without even being told he existed in the track listing.
Yeah,
and we'll get to that one. Glitches, loving the frantic pace of this one. It's metalcore 101, but I love it. The groove is very heavy. The vocals are fucking wild. It just hammers over and over again. Those tone shifts are where it is at, though. And the last 30 seconds are so wild. This is brilliant.
Hard-hitting, fast-paced. I like to see these guys live, but not get in the pit, because it's one of them ones where you see people go mad and be like, I'll just stand and watch. I love the end part breakdown, like I said, just that last verse. Yeah.
Bloodstock, book 'em.
Yeah.
Book 'em for 2022. They're definitely going down a treat. C++ in brackets, love will get you killed. I'm not completely sold on the clean singing here. The guitars are making a lot of noise and the vocals do bursts of aggression. But this clean singing, the problem for me here was it was my first proper introduction to it. And although it's very, very good and very talented, I found it to be a bit, I hear this kind of singing all the time in metalcore. Damn.
I like the change in vocal style, taking a slight breather, so you can appreciate it when it kind of gets back.
Of course, later on I would appreciate it a lot more. Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but again, it wasn't top of my list.
No, same. 2 Summers. A bit better here as the clean vocals on the track have a bit more of a melodic vibe. The whole track has a more melodic vibe. It's punchy. I like the guitar flair that works like an exclamation point to the vocal lines. Thought that was quite inventive.
Once it gets warmed up and the guitars get chunkier, I liked it better.
Warmed up, good, something like that.
Yeah,
You didn't mean that though, did you?
Warmed up.
Yeah, you didn't make it as a pun for the fact it's called 2 Summers.
No, I should have done. I totally did. Yeah. I liked it better once it got warmed up.
Awful lot. What an absolute banger this one is. Furiously heavy, some technicality, and a whole ton of heavy metalcore groove. It's infectious listen. I found myself, this is last night when I did this as a time recording. I did this last night. I finished it when I'm listening to it straight away again. Because normally I listen all the way through and I write notes as I go along. If I miss something, I'll go back and pick up again. Yeah. But this one I stopped and went, oh, I want to hear that again. Did it twice in a row.
Nice. I thought, nice, fast, frantic intro. Raw vocals are back. And I like the song line, we had such promise until we broke our promises.
That's
and like
good.
when lines stick in your head and you make a note of them, it's like, yeah, I really like that. And like I said, when you said about Dan, I think Dan would have really...
Yeah.
This is like, if you had to play one track to Dan, I think this would be one of them you play for him.
Dan, if you're watching, which you're probably not because you're a knob, hit up Every Time I Die Low Teens, check it out.
And I also like the part where there's eerie sad piano to fade out.
Yeah?
I enjoyed that. It's like, oh, put something, just the extra layer in. It's nice.
I didn't want to join your stupid cult anyway. I love the title of this one.
Yeah.
And that it's a short slice of hardcore noise with sharp guitar squeals and frenzied bass and drums. Kind of, this worked for me. Yeah.
I called it a pit song.
Yeah.
Fast and furious, short and sweet.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It remembers featuring Brandon Urie of Panic at the Disco. An interesting guest. Not exactly someone I care for. And the end result is a track that I actually end up not liking vocally at all. The guitar riffs are good, but I find this one inevitably falls really flat. Now let's just say, got no issues with Panic at the Disco. Not a fan at all. No. Know the hits, that's about it. But not a fan. But hell, they're fucking one of the biggest emo rock bands that have ever existed. What have I got to say?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and judge you for liking them. Fucking look at the bands I like. Jesus Christ. And I think Brandon Urie he's a great vocalist. Of course he is. I mean, but for me, there's nothing on this.
No. I see if I did, because I didn't know he was on this. It's like two different bands sometimes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it reminded me of, I think I got the band wrong, but remember that's that super group, Those Crooked Vultures. It's not those. There's another band.
Oh, you're thinking of... Oh, my God.
I mean?
You're thinking of Mixer Dillinger, Anthrax.
Yeah.
Fuck, what's that band called? I like that band. Yeah, you're thinking of... It's got Scott Ian in it.
Yeah.
Keith Buckley.
Yes.
Oh, no.
It's
right there.
Vultures, is it?
Oh, fuck. It's like a 3-word band. Oh, I've listened to...
That's what it is. That's what I put.
It's not... Yeah. Fuck. Drop us in the comments. I'm not going to Google it right now. I'm not in front of a computer to do it. Hopefully it'll just flip back into my head in a moment and I'll just shout.
Shout it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petal. My favourite kind of Every Time I Die. It's wild, it's uncouth. Noisy and furious, but they're in such control. Like, it's that insane instrumentation, insane vocal quality, where it just sounds like they're going balls to the walls, but you're like, no, you've written this. You know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. This is a banger. The pacing hits me right. The small breakdown they have here absolutely slays. There's a very small breakdown.
Yeah.
Not like a sort of obvious one, but it's there, and I think it really works.
Punches in. I like the short, sharp tracks. I really enjoyed the anguish in his vocals. So I really felt it in this one. And so especially after that last song as well, it's like, okay, we shifted back again.
Yeah.
Shifted the gear.
Good placement, yeah. The coin has a say. More frenzied noise. What possible complaints could I have? At best, it's maybe not as memorable as some of the others because of the brief bit of clean singing here.
Favourite track on the album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like all the elements are there, and I just really enjoyed this one. Yeah,
okay.
This is a song that I went back and listened to straight after.
Oh, so both had one.
I really enjoyed this song.
Religion of Speed, a drop in tempo without compromising on heaviness. This is another great track with some disgustingly chunky sounding riffing, getting more and more intense until the finale that just sounds so heavy.
That's what really well put together song. It dips and peaks and feels meaty. I like the echoed vocals at the end. And I like the crunchy guitars. Crunchy guitars, does that sound wanky?
No, I use the term crunchy quite a bit as well.
I like it.
You know,
yeah, that's what I mean by it.
You read my reviews? I use wanky terms all the time. I use meaty a lot and chunky and crunchy. Do you know what I mean?
Because I know what you mean by meaty. So
well, yeah. I like descriptive terms for music sometimes. Being like, oh, he dropped a C and then went to E and like, no, it's not really my thing. Just as real, but not as brightly lit. I do quite like the imaginative titling of a lot of these tracks. It's quite fun. And you'd think I'd be getting sick of this, but I'm not. Here we get savage speed dropping into groovy riffs and more focused vocals. Every time I die dropping metalcore bombs.
I thought we had like more bit like punky kind of elements. I suppose metalcore has that. Picks up on different things, isn't it? The speed and stuff. Really good guitar work, and I enjoyed that. There's more than what punky element of it.
Fair enough. Got nothing really to say about this one. Very, very short. 1977, the penultimate track. I just wrote short and thrashy sounding. I like it. I think it's got a bit of a thrash edge.
I said solid, but not my favourite. But I did like the slower end to the song. I like it kind of like shifted down a bit. Yeah,
I think this is really important. This is an example of them just putting a, dare I say, filler track as the penultimate, purely because they know what they want as a last track, and they've gone on purpose for this. Gone, look, let's lower. I don't want to sort of say they knew it wasn't as good, because that sounds a bit like shit. Yeah. But like maybe they're like, okay, this isn't our best. Let's stick it to penultimate. Let's lower expectations and then hit them with map change. I thought this was an epic ending. That really showed just how good the clean vocals could be. Like this was amazing. A rockier rhythm with their punch up for metalcore ferocity. This one is a really, really strong finish.
Layers to it. The build to the chorus is great, and then just guitar and echoing vocals. So just what they did with it was really, really good. Originally, I was on a special edition.
Oh yeah.
2 tracks afterwards, but I didn't listen to them because I wanted to finish on the album how it's supposed to end.
Yeah, mine was actually in. Like, so I was on a special edition. I think I added 3 more tracks, and they were actually in. So I took the track listing off a website, and was like, and I copy and pasted it. And I was like, there's the tracks. So when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, and they weren't just at the end. I think like in between Paddle and the Corners of Say, there was one jammed in there. Okay. So I skipped it completely because again, I wanted to listen to. We tried to not do the special editions of these if we can help it, because we want to listen to how the album was originally released.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely well worth ending on that, regardless of what you was going to add on afterwards. Agreed.
Yeah, this overall is a great album. This turned me into a fan, and instantly like 8 albums and more after this. I will happily look at more and intrigued for live shows as well. You know, I'm really, really happy with this. I'm not always the biggest fan of metalcore, but I really like what these guys are doing. I'd love to ssort of see what else they're doing around it.
It's weird because metal, I really struggle with genres, because I would have thought put this as something else, like post something. Because it didn't feel metal, because...
Well, obviously metalcore is a combination of hardcore and metal. Yeah. And that's why I think it really works quite nicely. Yeah. You know, I think you could argue there's some post-hardcore elements here. I think sometimes it's just out-and-out metal. Of course it is. Yeah. Metalcore, it's like any genre placement. You can call something, oh, this is a thrash metal album, but then, oh, they delve into classic, traditional heavy metal sounds. You know,
yeah.
Very rarely do you just get albums that are just completely easy, identifiable. Like, if at all, it tends to work with black metal and black metal only. But there's another good example. Here's a black metal band. Oh, no, but there's a bit of symphonic here. There's a bit of naturistic here. There's a bit of this and that and so on. Black and death. We love our genres. We fucking make a mess of it. And we have to pigeonhole every band. Yeah. I'm calling this a metalcore album because that, at its basic, is what I think it is. But I think there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It's good instruction. So I'm really glad we went for this one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Top 3 then. Let's see how close we are.
So Fear and Trembling. The Coin Has a Say, and Map Change.
Wow, completely different. Completely different. Incredible. Glitches.
Yep.
Awful Lot. Petal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there you go. Totally different. We loved it. Do you? Are you a massive fan of this band? Are you kind of shouting at us right now, telling, my God, about time you guys got on the Every Time I Die train? Let us know in the comments. The damn things! Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?